let's get into it. What the people have been waiting for. Or actually, I didn't even mention any of this, but we got the Ant-Man spoilers and leaks. This is pretty much the summary of the movie. We don't have the detailed movie yet, but obviously, once we get closer to the movie, like tonight, we're actually going to give the entire Wakanda Forever the way the movie fucking really is. Spoilers. But first, we're going to give you a summary of the Ant-Man fucking movie and shit. And for those of you pussies who just showed up because, oh my God, you saw a thumbnail and you want to know the spoilers and shit, let me break your little fucking bullshit, your little pussy heart and shit. All right? We've been drinking and smoking and doing drugs and shit. And if that ain't your cup of tea, then get your ass over there to fucking Eric Voss's new Rockstar channel. That shit's made for you. And I promise you'll have a better time over there than you will here, motherfucker. So for all you motherfuckers who are drinking and smoking out there, let's get into it. The Ant-Man spoilers that were verified, and I'm repeating this, Kike. These were verified by several leakers and people and sources, and they're saying this is all true. Here we go. I'm going to start reading. Don't interrupt me, Kike. It's a lot of shit. It's not the whole movie, but it's bullet points, and it's a lot of shit to go over.
All right.
Janet Van Dyne was going to be trapped in the quantum realm. And when she's down there, and this is a flashback, there's going to be these weird aliens, and we've seen them in the trailer. They look like weird xenomorph shit, or like the face opens, the mouth opens from the face like that. We've seen it in the trailer. And that's when Kang saves her and meets her. And it goes along with the fucking leaks that we've already read. That's where Kang probably tells her, hey, I'm stuck here just like you. We can help each other. Let's work on trying to find a way out of here and shit. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But then they say that after that, because I'm getting into the spoilers, but I'm skipping around. But anyways, she says, after that, there's a montage of Scott. And we've seen this in the first D23 trailer. Not in the trailer they showed us. In the D23 trailer, they showed this. That Scott is narrating his life after the bleep and after they saved the day and killed Thanos. He says, and that he's reading excerpts from his book because he's famous now and he's a celebrity. He's the Avenger that saved the Earth and shit now. And he's the good guy now. And we see it in the trailer. They're celebrating him and he's getting like employee of the century from Baskin Robbins, even though they fired his ass for being a criminal and shit. And he's selling a book that says, looking out for a little guy. But Scott, he talks about how happy he is to meet a raccoon that could talk, and he's friends with the Hulk. And then he talks about future adventures, and then this is all like, shit that's going on. But him and Cassie are trying to reconnect for the whole movie because not only was he gone for 5 years, but technically he's always been gone because he's a criminal and shit, and he's always fucking up and shit. And he's always trying to make it up for his daughter and shit. And even though they recasted her 3 times, and this is a totally different girl that we're even fucking used to from the other fucking movies.
Yeah.
But he's trying to reconnect with her because he doesn't know her, and neither do we, because the first time we ever seen this new little girl. But it's his daughter now. But anyways, they go and the little girl makes, and I'm also adding part of the leaks so you understand what's missing. The little girl makes that device, and she says, hey, when you were trapped in the quantum realm, I was actually trying to find you, and I made this little thing and shit. And I would send a signal, and maybe you would reach it. But I don't think I perfected it. But now that you're here, and you guys are here, and I've been studying what you guys are showing me and shit, I've perfected it. And so then that's when Janet Van Dyne gets freaked out and says, turn that shit off. But they all get sucked in. It's too late. They all get sucked in because the signal send it to Kang, and Kang's all like, oh shit, let me bring them in. And Kang brings them in. They split. They fall in opposite ends of the quantum realm. And we already see that Scott Lang is with his daughter. And obviously Hope, Janet, and fucking Michael Douglas, Scott Pym or whatever, Hank Pym. Hank Pym. Are in the in the other team and shit. But there's a whole civilization down there, and we've already seen all this in the trailer. And it says that they go to Bill Murray is an aristocrat, and it's hinted that him and Janet had a fling there, which was also on the leaks and shit. They say that some of the buildings are gonna seem like they're alive in the quantum realm, and MODOK is described as a mechanized organism designed only for killing. which is exactly what it stands for. At least they're doing that correct. And that it is a big head of Corey Stoll, and he's wearing a helmet or mask that looks like a robot, but it's not a robot.
Let's hope
when it
it's
takes
a fucking
it off,
mask.
it's going to be the head of him. It's going to be him deformed and shit. And we get to know his backstory and shit, which is, we already know his backstory. He got trapped in there when he shrunk as the fucking Yellow Jacket. And if you go back and see the original Ant-Man, his whole body shrinks first before his head does. So for a little instant, he has a small body and a big head. And I think that was them even hinting way back then. They knew. Kevin Feige's little virgin ass, he had his fingers so far up that ass that he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. Janet and Kang, they go back to a flashback, and when they were trapped in the quantum realm, Kang has a ship that he can travel the multiverse with. And Janet is helping him fix it because he promised her, if you help fix it, I'll take you back to wherever you got sucked into it and you can live the rest of your life with your family. But while she's there, she discovers one of the AIs that Kang is using, and the AI tells her Kang's plan. And what she does is that she takes something, the power source or something, from the ship. And then they show, like, they pick her up, like that's when she leaves and shit. So she fucked his plans up before he fucking left. And then when he meets fucking Kang takes Cassie as a prisoner, the daughter, and he tells Scott, like, hey, I need you to steal this for me, like, because you're fucking, somebody stole it, and it's fucking Janet Van Dyne who took it. And Kang tells him, like, because Scott Pym, and that's in the trailer that we shown the D23, he tells him, like, hey, you're in trouble, buddy. I'm an Avenger. And that Kang tells him, you're an Avenger. Have I killed you yet? And that Kang asks him if he's the one with a hammer. And then that Scott Lang, he makes a joke saying, like, yeah, people confuse me with Thor all the time. Yeah. And so Kang tells him, hey, you need to help me we need to all get out of here because you need to help me stop what's coming. And that Scott tells him, what's coming? And he goes, me. A worse version of me. That's what Kang tells them. All right. And they goes on and it says, he's not blue, but he has the lines on his face, which we already saw in the fucking trailer. And the reason why he's blue, the reason why he's blue is the light or whatever. Scott gets into the quantum nexus where he meets several different versions of himself. And that's in the trailer when we see a lot of Ant-Mans running together. And Scott, who's a Baskin Robbins employee in his universe, he's not even the Ant-Man. He's just a Baskin Robbins employee. He doesn't understand what the fuck is going on and why he's surrounded by all these Ant-Mans and shit. And it says that Scott works with his multiversal selves against MODOK. So when all those Ant-Mans are running and one of them gets hit by a beam and gets disintegrated, they're fighting MODOK there, dude. Yeah, that's crazy. And that he gets emotional with Cassie and he's telling her that he messed up all his life and he promises she's gonna try to get her home. And that Corey Stoll is only doing the voice of MODOK. That it's all CGI, whatever the hell whatever we're gonna see of MODOK, it's gonna be CGI. Gonna be him.
Of course. Yeah.
And that there's a joke that everybody says that they're calling him Darren, and he gets mad because he wants them to call him MODOK, which sounds dumb. My name is MODOK.
I wonder if he's actually doing like the voice like MODOK, My name is MODOK. Or if he has some speech impediments or something happened, like he shrunk or something.
I think it's going to be whenever he has the mask or the helmet, it sounds like that. But when they take it off him, because they're going to have to take it off him when they beat him or something, and they're going to find out that it's him. And that's when they're going to make fun of him, and all these jokes are going to be there because it's Marvel and shit.
Well, we'll see.
Anyways, Kang has a fucking whole army there, and he's ready to conquer the multiverses. And Scott, they say that Scott gets in a black suit, and Hope has lightsaber wings. Her wings are like lightsabers. And in the final battle, it reminds you of Aquaman, where we have all these crazy creatures and people fighting, and we see giant Antman and giant Cassie fighting MODOK. and they talk to him, and he switches sides. MODOK becomes good. And Giant,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
Giant Scott
All
and
right.
Giant Cassie, they run into each other for a hug, and
Mhm.
he jokes about feeling like he's hugging Godzilla. Kang has a standoff with Scott, Hope, and Cassie.
Right.
Hank flies in with a legion of battle army ants, and they attack Kang. He manages to hold them off with his powers, and then MODOK shows up and he helps him. Kang injures MODOK, and the family goes to MODOK's side as he dies. He rubs his tiny hand on Scott's cheek. Yeah. There's a moment where MODOK says to Cassie was right about him and that he at least died an Avenger. Scott says he did a good job and agrees, and MODOK dies. That's what they do to MODOK.
Jesus, they could have done a lot more cool things about
He could
it,
have
but
he could have escaped and been a bad guy for another 3, 4, 7 movies, for
Yeah.
fuck's sakes.
But this is the thing that I fucking tell you. Like, with the multiverse, they're like, well, we can kill him, but he can come back because from another universe. It's gonna be okay, you know.
I fucking hate that shit.
Fucking hate that too.
Anyways, they say Kang survives the fight and he stops Scott just as they're all about to go. They think they killed.
skank.
Hey, fuck you. They think they killed Kang, and they're all gonna go back to Earth, and they all gonna go back to Earth, and fucking right before they go back, Kang comes back and he grabs Scott, you know, and fucking all of a sudden he's beating him to all bloody pulp, and we see that he's all bleeding in the trailer. Yeah, he starts beating Antman. Everybody already left back to the real world, but he grabs Antman before he leaves, and he starts beating the shit out of him, Kang, and he's all bleeding and everything. And then all of a sudden, the Wasp, Hope Van Dyne, shows up, and he tells they fight Kang, but Kang manages to escape, and he leaves them trapped there in the quantum realm. He leaves Ant-Man and the Wasp trapped in the quantum realm. Yeah, and then
Interesting.
freaking Scott tells her, "Why did you come back?" And then that freaking she tells her, like, you know, when you met like all these versions of yourself, like I was there and I met all these versions of myself, and I didn't want to be the one that didn't have you in my life. That's what she tells him. Yeah, which is a pretty badass line if you ask me. Yeah. That's why I came back for you. I don't want to be without your dick, motherfucker, because you're young. You're 50 years old, but you look like you're 30. Shit. How do you do it, you vampire? You still get your dick hard and shit. Oh, yeah. Cheers, Scott Lang.
That's fucking funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey,
But anyways,
JP the greatest here, by the way.
hey, cheers, JP the Great. You're the shit, motherfucker. Oh, yeah. I'm not done with the spoilers. At the end of the movie,
I know.
Hope, Scott, they look at the quantum realm, and he says that their family, it's okay that Hank Pym, Janet Van Dyne, and his little girl, they're gonna figure out how to get us out of here, and we trust on them. And then the after credit scene is the little girl on her computer, and she sees something on her computer, and she gets excited, and that's how it ends.
Was it porn?
That one could only hope. Yeah.
All right.
What do you think of this
Well-
Ant-Man movie? It's kind of like I think it's true. All of this is true because it's in the trailer,
Yeah, but
and it goes
it's
along
a little
with the leaks.
convoluted in some ways, but I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be funny. The only thing is we don't have Miguel in this for sure, and maybe in the after credit we're gonna have a little like, hey, I heard about my cousin that he said
That'd be badass.
about this one, and that would be fucking badass.
I will
want
say
an after
one
credit
thing,
with
man.
Miguel.
Like, out of all the movies that have
Yeah.
ever come out, the Ant-Man ones are the most funnest ones, and
yeah,
and
they are.
mostly because like the stuff they show you is weird. Like when I first saw the Ant-Man movie, I didn't know what I was getting into, but the whole thing about you get shrunk and things are bigger. And then the second one, they did kind of like even the opposite, where they were making things big, and it was so
Yeah.
trippy the shit they would do. And then this one's gonna be even weirder, man. And that's the only thing that I'm excited about. I just like, I don't know, man. It looks good. You know, the only thing that pissing me off, and I'll say it again, is MODOK. If this is all
MODOK, yeah.
true, they ruined a character that could have been like another villain. for them to fight
A
for
heavy
two
hitter
movies.
here.
Yeah, a
because
heavy.
he's always been a heavy hitter
bad, yeah,
in the
yeah.
comic books. Yeah. So
Some bullshit.
we'll see.
Hey, like shit like this, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and check out the full podcast on the link to the right where we discuss more topics we don't post on these short videos. Peace.